Let's talk about the actual tools that you're going to need when you start your production agency. First and foremost, this goes without saying, you need a camera. Whether it's a camera for photo or video, whichever space you're planning to get into, you honestly need to figure out a way to either rent one of these out or figure it out in general for your production. Renting is becoming more and more of a regular thing, especially me here in Cincinnati. Honestly, there's a place called Pro Camera right down the road. Really easy to rent out beginner gear, cameras, lenses, and all that. Now, when you're picking out gear, one of the things that you're probably going to get really focused on is, oh, I need the highest and greatest tech. I need to be in the best line possible. Hence why I own an A7 IV, why I have an FX30, why I still run an A7R2. Yeah, bottom the line is pay attention to sensor specs on cameras. If you're shooting real estate and basic photography, stuff like that, you're only going to need a camera that has a high megapixel count. Prime example, why I even have the A7R2 in my lineup. This is great. It's a super high megapixel camera that allows me to blow things up, get really fine details, and show off things very well. Where it suffers is some low light performance, and that's where you could figure out some other ways to get around. Now, picking out your camera can be daunting. We see all the time online, you need to have something like the new A7 IV, like what we're recording on right now, all the way to people bragging about you need G Master lenses if you're shooting video only. Bottom line is, there's many ways to do the same job. So, other than the camera, obviously, the lens is going to be one of your other most important tools. Me personally, I actually have brought this 18 to 105 for the longest time ever. I have used this for dormitory videos and a whole bunch of things. And we could safely say that since 2018, this thing has gotten its fair share of abuse. So let's go into your third piece of gear. Oh, that's right. If you don't have a tripod when you're looking at other things, it's probably time, because it's going to allow you to adjust settings on the camera a lot more. And honestly, learning your camera and learn its capabilities and limitations before you get into anything else. I can't stress that enough. Little fun fact, by the way, when I was a younger photographer back in 2016, 17 now, my first time ever taking a photography course, my professor had us shoot manual everything. And I mean everything. Manual focusing, manual ISO, manual f-stop, manual shutter, everything. Nothing on the camera is now shot in manual from 2016, 2017, all the way till, gosh, 2022-ish. I was shooting manual on all my cameras. I don't recommend. It's not fun. And it wasn't until a buddy of mine even said, why aren't you using the autofocus? That being said, let's get right into tool number 3. Gimbals are honestly super important, especially when you're in the video space and even sometimes photo space. Yes, I have actually used this purely for photos a few times now, and I'll be honest, I got the shaky hands. I cannot hold a camera steady by just manually holding it. Sometimes sure it works out and it can create creative shots, but for me, I deal with the shakes, so I have to have a gimbal, and I use it all the time. And tool number 4, you need a really good set of microphones. Having a proper mic setup is crucial. Now, I have tried an array of microphones. I have the Wireless Pro Go 2s. Currently, I absolutely love these from Rode. They're beautiful mics, they're float 32-bit, and they really get the job done. I've also run shotgun mics and a few other things in the past, and I always like having a little bit better audio, so I do not leave home now without a shotgun mic or at least these Rode Pro 2s. Because honestly, having good audio is one of the most crucial things when you're shooting for production agency work in general. When you're working with clients, there's going to be moments where you may need to capture sound effects or stuff that occur while you're on set and filming that you cannot always seem to replicate. You may get close with some sound effects from Envato Elements or Artlist.io, but there's definitely some things in general that it's nice having that natural ambient noise. Number 5, of course, proper lighting. Now, it's one of those things that people will play around with, get different kinds of tube lights. It could be cheap stuff like these. I've gotten away with using stuff like this in the past. These are actually the 2 first pieces of lighting I ever purchased. Plus, I always used to use the newer little pocket lights. Absolutely love this kind of stuff. It really adds nice little accent pieces. But if I'm to be really honest, you eventually want to get into bigger grade lighting gear. Me personally, I've been playing around with stuff like Nan lights, I've been playing around with other pocket lights like from Amaron, and honestly, I'm just finally finding my niche in the lighting world of what I like to use for production sets. I'm going to preference this and say you're going to really want to pick out a good product that actually allows you to adjust your Kelvin levels. Well guys, I hope these 5 tips and tricks really help you out in the production agency world. Like I said, these are like the 5 things that I personally really feel like people need to have to actually run a production agency properly. But that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.